How's it going, guys? And welcome back to the Hardwood Insights podcast. I'm your host, Tristan Wilson. Today we just have a bunch of NBA talk, NBA rumors, NBA stuff that went down this week and especially today. So let's just get right into it. First thing on my mind, first thing that I want to talk about today, as you guys can see, I'm a Bulls fan, and today we made a trade to trade Alex Caruso to the Thunder for Josh Giddey. I'm sure many of you guys have seen that already, but I just want to put my thoughts out there pretty much. So I want to say I like the trade. I wish we could have gotten more value for Alex Caruso, because at the trade deadline, there was a lot of teams calling the Bulls front office asking about trading for Alex Caruso, like the 76ers, like the Warriors. Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what other teams were on there. Probably like the Bucks were calling about Alex Caruso. And they're offering multiple first-round picks for Alex. And for the Bulls to say, no, we're going to hold on to him and proceed to make the play-in for whatever reason, to hold on to his value and then trade Caruso for much less than what he was worth, is just bad front office, just bad. It's not good. That we could have gotten at least a first round pick, because you're trading him to the Thunder for a guy, for Giddey, who was on the short list of players that were probably going to get moved off that team. He was not going to be there long term. And to a team that has like 15 first round picks over the course of the next like 5 years. So they could have afforded to give up one or two, but I would have been fine with one. But it just comes down to the Bulls mismanaging their assets, because not only did we not get enough value for Caruso, Drummond, we could have traded him at the deadline, but no, now we are holding on to him at the end of the season, and he's a free agent. He's gonna walk. He proved that he has much more value than what he was making on his contract, and he's going to go out and get a bigger contract from I don't know what team, but he's going to go and get another 2-year deal, probably maybe like 13 million annually, who knows. But that's besides the point of just I don't know what's going on up there as a Bulls fan. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know, because we're sitting in mediocrity, holding on to, in the case of Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond, Zach LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan. We have valuable players, and they should have been moved a long time ago. And now, well, I mean, I don't even know for sure if we're completely rebuilding at this point. There's been it's being said that the Bulls are going to be active on the trade market, but we all know that they might just be trying to retool the team around DeRozan. But that doesn't make any sense. Let me put what I think the Bulls should do out there. I think that we should just start fresh. Try to I want us to trade DeRozan, trade Zach. I wanted us to get, yes, we got a young player out of Caruso, but I wish we could have gotten at least a pick or two. Trade Vooch. Just acquire young talent or smaller contracts and draft capital. I would have been fine for us sitting at the bottom of the East for a couple of years and just not being good, because at least then we have a direction. We have a plan of what we're doing. Because we don't. At this moment in time, we do not have a plan and we don't have a direction. Our compass is broken. Our map is a circle. We're I don't know. But on the bright side, having Giddy on the team is gonna be hopefully good. It's gonna be hard to utilize him well because, for one, he is a non-shooter. He's not that good off the ball, but on the ball, as a playmaker, he's fairly good. I don't want to say like phenomenal, but he has the tools to be phenomenal though. But obviously off the ball is not his game. He's not a threat from below, beyond the arc. But he has the capabilities of going out and getting a double if needed. It just his efficiency is going to be a question, and his fit, because this season we had established that Kobe White was going to be our long-term lead guard, and then Ayo Dosunmu is going to be our either backup or our two guard, because in that second half he played really good. So we'll see what happens there, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm not worried yet. I'm still a little skeptical of what the front office is doing, but I am glad that at least we're finally doing something. I mean, the organization had not made a trade in like 3 years or something like that. I mean, if they did, they made one trade that was trading two second round picks that were in the future for a second round pick in the 22 draft, I want to say. But other than that, that's the only deal we've made in like the last 3 years. So at least we've done something, finally. But there's a long ways to go for me to get excited about Bulls basketball again. Moving on, just going down the line, the Los Angeles Lakers hired JJ Redick as their head coach. Only pull up his contract details here from Woj. It was a 4-year deal worth, let's see if they're, I do not have the details on how much he's going to be getting paid, but it's a 4-year deal as a new head coach for the Lakers. The Lakers are hoping and saying that he's going to be like their new, the Lakers are saying that he's going to be their version of Eric Spoelstra. And they're comparing him to a young Pat Riley in a sense. We'll see how that plays out. I mean, if they're comparing him to those two legendary coaches, he has some pretty big shoes to fill there. I've seen a lot of discourse on Twitter and on Instagram saying that with this hire, that LeBron's gonna have a lot more control now than ever. I don't think that's entirely true, because I don't think that's gonna be true. I mean, it's funny to think about it like that, because obviously we all know they have a podcast together, and now they're saying that the podcast was basically like his interview, his tryouts for head coach, which is kind of funny, because that podcast, if you haven't listened to it, is pretty good. It's a pretty good listen. But that aside, it I wish I was hoping that they weren't going to go with JJ, just because he is a first time head coach, and they as of lately they've had a not so good track record with head coaches. So I don't want JJ to come to Lakers and the team itself not be set up for in a way to help him succeed, to help him coach the way he wants to coach, or just not have the right personnel to be a championship team. And we all know that the Lakers with LeBron James, it's pretty much championship or bust. And as a first-time head coach, as a coach who has no experience, it could be a disaster, because you most likely are going to be the scapegoat, and as we have seen before, that is the case. And I just don't want that to tarnish his what word am I looking for? His reputation as a basketball mind. I would have liked him at Cleveland, and we're gonna get into it a little bit into this next, but Detroit, with them firing Monty Williams, I actually think that Detroit would have been a perfect fit for him. And actually, while that before Charles Lee, the Celtics assistant, signed with the Hornets, I thought that would have also been a good fit for JJ. Because in Detroit and in Charlotte, the expectations are a lot lower, and he has a lot more room to work with. And it would just be a little bit easier for players to listen to him in a way, because they're a little bit younger. Most of the players, like on the Hornets and the Pistons, are a little bit younger. Had seen JJ play in his prime and as they were growing up, and could relate to him in a way. Whereas on the Lakers, some of those players are experienced veterans. Some of them played with or against JJ. And yeah, there's still that respect, but just when you're coaching your peers, it just doesn't feel the same in a way. Moving on, the Pistons, as I said earlier, fired Monty Williams. He had signed last season after being fired by the Phoenix Suns. He was he with the Suns, he had about $20 million left on his contract, so he got bought out there. And now with him being fired by the Pistons, he's being owed $65 million plus on his deal, according to Woj. According to Woj, the decision to fire Monty Williams was made at the ownership level. And before, when he was fired, originally when he was fired by the Suns, he was going to sit the year out, not coach, and then was given the first offer by the Pistons. He originally said no, I want the year off, I don't want to coach anymore, and then they came back to him with that record-breaking contract, the largest contract for a head coach in history. And he was like, this is an offer I can't refuse, pretty much. This is a lot of money. So he did, and as we know, the team very much underperformed. I mean, when you have a team that is kind of tanking and is not really built for winning, I mean, you had a bunch of big men on the team, not a lot of shooting, actually no shooting at all, and it's just tough to win games. And obviously, like I said previously, nowadays coaches are the scapegoats for bad performing teams, and that's just what happened here. I mean, I do think at times he made some questionable coaching decisions, but in the grand scheme of things, it was just not gonna work out because the team was not set up for success, for him to succeed. I mean, I know they were hoping to win more games, but I mean, they had the 28 game losing streak and ended up winning, I think it was 15 games on the season. Yeah, 14 games on the season. I don't really have much to say about it. I think the candidates for that position are, you got James Borrego, you got let's see, just scrolling through Twitter. According to Woj, Detroit Pistons have permission to interview Dallas assistant Sean Sweeney and Minnesota assistant Mike Norrie, and former Cleveland coach JB Bickerstaff, and are expected to call around to interview other assistants around the league. After seeing his performance, how he did with the Timberwolves, I'm going for Mike Norrie to finally move up into a head coaching position. I think he did a good job. Even though Minnesota's head coach, why am I blanking here? Was still on the sidelines, like still in control. uh with the knee injury. Yeah, why can't I remember his name? Chris Finch. Chris Finch was still on the sidelines, behind the bench. Mike Nori was still kind of in calling the plays and everything, because just the uh, the gap in communication there, and obviously Chris Finch trusted him enough to handle those operations while the game was going on. Um, so hopefully he gets the job either in Cleveland or in Detroit. But that's pretty much there. Um, According to Brian Windhorst, the Clippers may re-sign Paul George. This was 11 hours ago, actually. Um, the Clippers could re-sign Paul George this afternoon, but the fact that they are not seemingly reacting to what his market clearly is something to pay attention to. I have heard that what the Clippers have offered Paul George lately is not what he is looking for, and is kind of willing to test the waters, um to see what maybe the Sixers will give him, or um I think really only the Sixers are the leading candidates for Paul George. um I mean, obviously, at his age, more than likely this contract is going to be his last max contract. Not his last contract, but his last big max contract, because he is what he is a little bit entering the end of his prime. um he's 34, so he signs a 4-year deal that'll bring him to 38, and maybe he gets a 2-year deal after that. Who knows? He might retire after that. Again, who knows how his body is holding up, and stuff like that at the end of his career there. Um, but obviously that's what Paul is looking to do. Just one last big big contract, and he's willing to leave LA to get that, from the way it sounds. Um, let's see. Um, LeBron James is expected to opt out of his deal with the Lakers. The coaching hire is the first step in a off season during which the team is facing crucial roster decisions, particularly with James. He is expected to opt out of his current contract. That is Dan Wokey Sports reporting that. Um, Honestly, that's not too surprising. I think LeBron is trying to put the pressure on Rob Pelinka and the Lakers to improve the roster, and if and he's using his leverage to say, either you improve the roster. I know I brought in, well, I don't want to say LeBron brought in JJ, but I know JJ is now the coach, and we're buddies, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm coming back, because I want to win a championship, and I don't have much time to do so again. And now my son's going to be in the league as well. So if it comes down to it, if you don't improve the roster, I might leave. So he's putting the pressure on the Lakers, and hopefully they do make the right decisions here, and LeBron stays a Laker, and we get to see we'll see if the Lakers get another championship. We'll see. We'll see. But um, that's pretty much it. You're just putting the pressure on the Lakers front office to improve. Because just getting JJ Redick is not satisfactory enough, obviously. Um, let's see. Before I started recording, it was reported that Malik Monk is intending to sign a 4-year deal to return to Sacramento. 4 year, $78 million. Honestly, that's a huge re-signing, because it was rumored that he could leave. I was expecting him to maybe go and maybe sign with Orlando, provide some scoring and some much needed shooting over there. But obviously the Kings were able to give Malik the most amount of money possible, and they did so, and that was pretty much their number one priority, to re-sign Malik Monk, because he's such a integral part to their roster. And I mean, he averaged career best 15 points and 5 assists, and he was this year's runner up as sixth man of the year behind Naz Reid. So 4 years, $78 million, completely deserved. Congratulations to Malik Monk on getting his bag. If that is all I have to talk about, I might just end it here. I mean, they're saying that Stephen A. Smith is wanting $25 million annually from ESPN, and ESPN is only offering $18 million. I know that's not per se NBA stuff, but just want to throw that out there. But that's a lot of money for Stephen A. Smith to want annually. But that's wow. I didn't know Stephen A. was moving around like that, making that kind of money a year. That's more than some NBA players out there. Lonzo Ball's tenure with the Bulls is likely nearing an end, and a buyout is possible with the acquisition of Josh Giddey. Further clouds the Bulls' plans for recovering for Lonzo Ball, who hasn't played since January 2022, but he is expected to make a comeback. We have seen some progress. I saw the other day, or like last month, a video of Lonzo dunking the ball. So it is possible that he does come back, but who knows if it's on the Bulls. I mean, if we do go into a quote unquote rebuild or retooling, maybe we do buy out his contract and he signs a smaller deal with trying to throw out a team here like the who needs a point guard? Top of my mind, I'm not really thinking of anybody that could use a point guard, but he signs a prove it deal where it's smaller, it's a shorter, maybe 1 year, 2 year deal, just to prove that he is still capable of putting up maybe not the exact same or exactly close to what he was putting up before the injury, but capable of giving that same output on the court. So, I mean, if he doesn't stay with the Bulls, I wish him all as well, because he is one of my more favorite players in the league at the moment. It just sucks to see him injured for so long. Especially when he was healthy, we were the first seed. So that is a little unfortunate. But hopefully he comes back and he's balling out like he was before. The 76ers are not active in trade talks centered around Zach LaVine and have no interest in acquiring him. That is surprising. I thought that Philadelphia was one of the more suitable landing spots for Zach. So to see that they have no interest in getting him is as a Bulls fan, I'm not too happy. But hey, the Philly probably doesn't want another wing slash guard who can't defend next to Tyrese Maxey, because they just can't have that. Even though Zach does have the tools to be a good defender. I mean, I won't get into that today, but he does have the tools to be a good defender, but is not. So we'll see where he's expected to land. I've heard that Zach has really no real landing spots at the moment because that contract is so large. It is. I'm gonna pull it up right now, but for the amount of production he has given in the last couple years, well, more so this year, that his current contract, you a good 24 points per game, but his current contract, he's going to be earning in the 2023-2024 season, he was earning $40 million. And 2024-2025, he's earning $43 million. And then he has 2 years left on that deal, which in 2027, the last year of that deal, is a player option for $48 million, basically $49 million. I mean, he's injury prone. Just it's kind of hard to move a contract that large, like I was seeing with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal. I mean, I know we haven't seen anything about the Suns moving him, but in the situation that they're in, that contract is seen as immovable. So it's kind of like what's happening here with Zach. That contract is just too large and not equal to the value he's putting up on the court. That being said, I'm going to end the episode here. If there's anything you guys want if there's anything I didn't talk about today and you guys want me to talk about, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be finishing up working on that script I was hinting at in the last episode. Almost done with it, and I hope you guys like it. I'm putting in a lot of work into it, and I'm really excited to film it. Trying to get a special guest here on the podcast to film it. He's a big fan of, I don't want to spill too much of the video idea, but I want to say he is a fan of the team that we're going to be talking about. So I'll give you a little snippet there, but I'm excited for that. The draft is actually next week. So I'm going to put a video out before the draft starts. And then we got free agency not too long after that. Trade season is going to be starting. So we're going to have a lot of content to talk about. So with that being said, I hope you have a great day, great week, and until I see you guys next time, peace.